Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat podcast. It's episode number 75 today. Well, we're going to be talking about a striker with a higher XG output, I guess you could say, than Erling Haaland. Yeah, I know, pretty mental. You can argue he's better than Haaland based on statistics this season. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Sheraldo Becker. It's a name that before this season, not a Scooby. Who this guy is. I think even now in this season, you've got no idea who this bloke is.
I learned who he is about 10 minutes ago.
But it's because I was scrolling through Understat, which, if you don't know, it's a statistic-based website. You can have a look at things like XG, XA, all that kind of more in-depth football statistics. And I saw Union Berlin, and they're absolutely insane, like overperformance in XG in the Bundesliga right now. If I get it up quickly, because they've got, so their expected goals is 6.22. They've scored 15 goals.
That's massive.
Now that is a statistical, just absolute, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense as to how this is happening. Because usually when you tend to see strikers outperform their XG, they're at a smaller side, they're not a team that are top of the league. But this is literally every player in the Union squad. So either they've got a bunch of absolute studs who can just hit it from range, and they're really low XG, or it just makes no sense as to how he's doing so well. But yeah, so Union as a team, absolute stunning XG statistics there. But Sheraldo Becker, just 1.44 expected goals, and yet he's had six goals so far this season in the Bundesliga. I mean, pretty mental statistics. Did he join the summer or did he join the summer before last?
He joined in 2019.
He's been there a while then.
Yeah, he's played 84 games for Union Berlin, scored 15 goals.
And
he's
six
got
of them have been this season, yeah. And considering last season,
7 games. So in 7
Taiwo
games...
Awoniyi was performing superbly last season, and he started and then got his move to Nottingham Forest.
In 77 games, he scored 9 goals, and in 7 games, he scored 6 goals. That's
pretty mental. But yeah, they've got 11 of their goals from open play, so it's not even like they're just back, getting lucky off penalties or corners. Actually, no penalties or direct free kicks scored so far. 2 from corners and 2 from set pieces. So that they are useful at corners, considering that their XG from corners is 0.35 and their XG from set pieces is 0.32. They've scored 2 goals from each of those situations.
Yeah.
So just a complete statistical anomaly here. None of this makes any sense. But yes, I mean, it extends further in the squad. If you look down at their next forward, highest scoring forward, Jordan Siabachu, he's got 3 goals, 3 assists from 2.02 XG.
That's the other thing I want to mention is that...
And 0.95.
They've got two, obviously their whole team don't, but they've got 2 strikers that don't just score goals. Both Becker and the other guy.
Siabachu, both on 3 assists so far this campaign.
I think that does help massively. You've got strikers that also score goals, but can also set them up.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly working out very well for them. Sheraldo Becker's played 7 games. Jordan Siabachu's played 6 games. Their team is just ridiculously good. And then you've got Robin Knock, the centre-half, right? He's scored a goal as well this campaign from his 0.03 XG. And it's just like, how are they doing this?
Yeah.
But, yeah, absolutely stunning from Union Berlin so far. And that's why they top the Bundesliga.
And I think the main thing for me is that I look at it is they've not played easy teams.
No, not at all.
I mean, they've played Leipzig, Bayern Munich. It's not been easy. Wolfsburg, even, I mean, they're not very good anymore. Easy. They've struggled in Europe though.
Yeah, but I would expect them to.
They lost to Union St. Gillois.
Yeah, but it's their first time in Europe. They've got players that haven't played on that bigger stage before.
It's probably the first time for Union St. Gillois.
It isn't. They've been consistently Europa League, Conference League team for a few years now, I think.
Because they're in Belgium.
Yeah, so they've just been chilling around that 4th place-ish. But yeah, under Urs Fischer, the current Union Berlin manager, he's been there since 2018, which is when Berlin's rise up the divisions to become the biggest side in the capital begun, really. And now, of course, they're into the Bundesliga. They're top of the league after 7 games. He joined from Basel. Other than that, he's not really had much of a interesting career to note. He was at Basel, Thun and Zurich. And obviously a decent coach, but really his style is working very effectively.
And I think that's the thing, because on paper the squad isn't good.
There's a few players that stand out to me. You look
Sami
at
Khedira.
not Sammy. Where's Sami Khedira? Rani Khedira.
That's Rani Khedira.
There's no Sami Khedira. Yannick Haber is someone that I've seen before, and Martin Thorsby as well. But yeah, not many people in this squad that stand out as absolute talent. No. So clearly the system's just working very well. Everyone seems to be outperforming what's expected of them.
What I like about this is that what happens if you did put what you'd say probably a better player on paper in this system?
Like Haaland, 90 goals.
Genuinely, if you put like a Haaland in this system, would he just score 50 goals a season?
I'd look at the flip. Sheraldo Becker at the moment is outperforming his XG by an absolute ludicrous amount. If you'd put him in a team that creates a lot more chances and a lot more better chances, like Manchester City, how well does he perform? Is it just that the system is suited to him and Siabechu and that's why it works really well for him? Or is it that they are actually just stunning players all at Union Berlin all at the same time, seemingly?
I mean, Siabechu with 3 goals, 3 assists. Becker with 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 goals. There's not much. I mean, there's only Haber with 1 goal, 1 assist. Trimmel with 2 assists.
I recognise Christopher Trimmel.
Apart from the strikers, there's not really many other goal contributions coming in across the pitch.
But I mean, they're 3-5-2, very effective, seems to be working very well. The thing I would ask is, can they keep this up? Because you tend to see when a team's massively overperforming their XG, that their actual performance will catch up with them eventually. It's like when you look at Liverpool over the last few years, they always outperform their XG. As soon as Mane and Salah aren't, Mane's gone and Salah's not performing, you see them slip down the table. Would we see that with Union Berlin? Do you think they can maintain this absolutely ridiculous level of performance and keep up for a Bundesliga charge?
Looking at the next fixtures in the Bundesliga, they've got Frankfurt and Stuttgart, which I expect them to win.
Frankfurt could be a tough one.
I think they'll still win that.
Could be a tough game though.
I think
Stuttgart should be comfortable
is the big test.
They've beaten Bayern, so why couldn't they beat Dortmund?
Because I don't know.
Dortmund are all over the place at times. I remember against Man City, they look good to be fair against Man City.
Dortmund, you've got Bochum, Gladbach, Leverkusen, Augsburg, Freiburg and Hoffenheim there. That's in November. That's Mars, and that's November.
And then you're going into the World Cup, aren't you?
There's a big gap there. So Freiburg's their last game. They could. Obviously, I think they would top the league.
Freiburg will be a tough one. Hoffenheim will be a tough one. They're both currently in the UCL spots.
After the World Cup.
Okay, they'll be alright then. Yeah.
So but the only tough games I think they've got, to be honest, to the World Cup is Freiburg, Dortmund, and Frankfurt.
Yeah, I mean, equally if they lose all 3 of those, Bayern could end up being 4 points ahead of them.
Yeah,
if they win all their games. So they do have to maintain this level of performance. The question is, do you think they will? Yeah. Do you think they'll keep overperforming their SG?
Really can. Look at Bayern. I mean,
confidence is high at the moment, I guess, for you.
Bayern have got Dortmund and Freiburg and Hoffenheim.
And I know Leverkusen aren't performing well, but they're still a good side. You look at Kalamazoo, you look at Patrick Schick, you look at Florian Wirtz. They're players that can cause an upset. Yes, they might be 15th in the league, but that's absolutely no indication of the talent in that team.
If Bayern lose to Dortmund and Freiburg and Union Berlin can keep picking up points, and Bayern got Hoffenheim as well. If Bayern drop points in those games and Berlin they could find themselves a good 6, 7, 8 points ahead of Bayern Munich. And yes, Bayern Munich are a good team, but they'll have more. Obviously, I'm telling you now, Becker, the Surinamese striker, is not going to the World Cup. So he's got no risk of getting injured or being tired or not wanting to take the risk.
Yeah, he was born in Holland as well, but chose to declare for Suriname, I believe, when I was looking at him.
Realised he's free to play for Suriname and not.
Yeah, I mean, he's not dethroning Memphis Depay. They're based on the form he's displayed this season. Maybe he deserves to, considering Depay's only played like 1 game and scored 1 goal or something like that. But yeah,
I think, and this is the purpose. We've talked about this. The World Cup will bring up a crazy season, and this is exactly the right season for Union Berlin because of this World Cup, because of this intervention. When the big teams like Bayern, Dortmund have all got players going off to the World Cup and you've got absolutely no one, your whole squad stays together for a whole 2 months.
And when Bayern and Dortmund especially, those are both in transition periods now. Bayern learning to lose Lewandowski, who they've had for 6, 7, 8 years now. And Dortmund learning to adapt to life without Haaland.
And they choose not to start Adeyemi and play Modeste.
I was going to say, Modeste and Mane. they're not players that replace Haaland and Lewandowski.
No.
Modeste shouldn't be there full stop. Mane should be out wide. So,
Or will Bayern Munich just go buy Becker in January and run the league?
I don't see it. I don't see for
That's
Becker
so
why
Bayern.
you would go to Bayern.
Oh no, Burnley are top and Bayern aren't. Why'd you leave?
Yeah, especially since he's playing so well in the system. If he goes to Bayern and that doesn't work out for him, then yeah, that it makes no sense for him
This
to.
must be that thing is though, and the other thing this will be is that the atmosphere and the kind of just happiness around the club, the dynamic, the dressing room dynamic, must be massive because they're turning up. They're expecting.
They've not lost a game yet.
Yeah.
Have they? They're unbeaten so far. 5 wins, 2 draws in this season so far. They've got 11 XG. 11 goal difference, plus 11 goal difference. So it's not even like they've been scraping through. A plus 11 goal difference. 15 scored, 4 conceded. They've conceded less than Bayern, and yes, they've not scored as many as Bayern, but you can't expect them to. They've conceded the second most in the league. They've scored the second most as well.
Talk about how well they've done scoring goals, but defensively to only concede 4.
Yeah.
I've never heard of any of their defence, to be honest.
Robin Knock, I remember, but
Yeah, Rono in goal, Leiter, Knock and Baumgartel.
The players that I when you look through, they've not actually played for anyone else really. I mean, Robin Knock, let's have a quick look at his record. He was at Wolfsburg until 2020 and then joined Berlin then.
Timo Baumgartel's on loan from PSV, and the goalkeeper, Frederick Rono,
I recognise him.
played
but
for Frankfurt, went to Schalke, and now has gone to Berlin.
It's just it's a team of Bundesliga mercenaries, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's a team of players who have never really been good enough in their teams to make that step up to a Bayern Munich or a Dortmund, but have always been consistently all right in the Bundesliga. And they've all come together in the right system, in the right set of circumstances to have a chance at the league this year. It'll be interesting to see whether they can do it. But yeah, that's pretty much all we've got to talk about today.
Yeah.
We'll probably have another Bundesliga episode out tomorrow because I want to talk about RB Leipzig.
Well, I lie. They might have, Union Berlin might have one player go to the World Cup, and that is Jordan Sabathiu of America.
Sabathiu, yeah. I imagine so. It depends on the performance of Timothy the Weah so far.
Yeah.
But
both.
Potentially they could take both. It's not like they've got a plethora of attacking talents, but yeah, that's probably where I'll round it up today. I want to talk about Bundesliga again, so that'll probably be episode 76 out in a day or two. And yeah, I feel like because there's not only has there been Union Berlin's massive overperformance, but I want to talk about Leipzig and Leverkusen's massive underperformance. So look out for that either tomorrow or Thursday. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for watching and listening. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.